Hey guys, how's it going? It is TryHardChimp here, and the other day I took one of my very first exams. So I had to write the Beg Me contest, which is apparently a social studies contest in which I must pass if I want to get into social studies 11 honors next year. And I also calculated that if I want to get into social studies honors, and if I want any chance of getting in there, I need to score 81% or higher for term 3. Which is gonna take a lot of work. And I mean a lot of work. Anywho, I was extremely uncomfortable during that test. I was sweating balls and I had a very squeaky chair and I probably had the only wobbly desk in the entire room. Just my luck that out of all the desks I picked the one that was the wobbliest of them all. Anywho, I hope I pass that test with flying colors, which I probably won't because social studies is not my strong point. And we will get on to today's topic, which is top 5 reasons why I don't really like tests. Number 1, you rarely get enough time to finish a test. Well, I always finish my tests 5 minutes before I actually have to hand it in and time's over, pens down. But there's also those moments where there's 2 minutes left on the clock and I have to rush all my answers and I leave like maybe 5 multiple choice questions unanswered and I have to randomly guess A, B, C, D, E, F and just scramble down letters in a hope that there's a 25% chance that I'm going to get that answer right. And then sometimes your teacher only gives you 20 minutes to write a 5-page test, which absolutely sucks. And then there are the others who want to stall time before the test and look at somebody and blame them for what they're doing just to stall time so that we have less time to write our tests. For example, my chemistry test last week, almost none of us were able to finish the test except for me and a few other people. Well, my dad's a chemist, so GG. But then yeah, a lot of people actually didn't finish, which I was really surprised. And then when I went into my science class to take the test, the people from the other block were like, you better write as fast as you freaking can, because if you don't, you're not finishing that test. But in the end, I got it done, and I'm proud to say that I did do fairly well. I got an A. Except for the multiple choice, I bombed the multiple choice. But then again, maybe teachers like to give you less time in order to fail you, and maybe that's their mastermind evil plan that they want all of us to become their mindless slaves because we're all stupid and we didn't get a good education. Number 2, some teachers cannot differentiate between a quiz and a test. My math tests are super easy. I'm getting like 98, 99% of math. Like the test, 2 pages, great. But then again, I remember one time in science class, that's right, good old science class. In the beginning of the year, we had a student teacher. He was from Kenya, and I have to admit, he was pretty badass. And then one class told us that we had a quiz on Wednesday, and we were like, okay, it's just a quiz on biology and biomes, stuff like that, no problem. We come in on Wednesday, and he shows us our quiz, which is actually a 10-page long test, and the test included atomic theory. And we didn't even learn atomic theory yet. Heck, I'm learning atomic theory right now. Actually, no, I'm pretty much learning nuclear equations. We just finished atomic theory just a few weeks ago. Anywho, he was way ahead of us, and he was teaching us about atomic theory in the test, in which we did not know anything about atomic theory, and it was an extremely long test, and everybody was expecting a quiz, and he even called it a quiz himself. And you know what, man? Great job. Great job. Somehow, miraculously, I happened to pass that test with flying colors. I think I just got an A, which was extremely awesome. But then again, I could have failed. And yet again, almost all of us could have failed that test because 40% of it was atomic theory. Number 3, teachers always seem to give you the hardest questions. For example, in my social studies tests, sometimes the answer to a simple question would be on page 235, section 2.3, by paragraph 4, and in the bottom right corner of the page. And the answer to that question just so happened to be the question that was worth 5 marks on the short answer. Which absolutely sucks because every time we study something in the social studies textbook, I always panic through the main stuff and I don't really pay attention to the little corners of text at the bottom, or on the bottom left, or on the right, or whatever. And that's how I mainly flunk my social studies tests, because I don't look in the corners, and even though I try so hard to study for them, I never manage to answer those questions correctly. Number 4, essay questions. I remember I had to write my Beg Bee contest. In the part C, there was an essay question about why women took 50 years to vote in the jury, or jury stuff, whatever. And we had to include references from 11 documents that were given to us in the test. I have to admit, that essay question wasn't so bad, but apparently from hearing from my sister, essay questions can get pretty tough. I admit it. It sucks enough that you actually have a really big test, but it sucks more balls when you have to write an essay within the test. Personally, myself, I like to type stuff out, and when I have to write an entire essay out, man, my hand is like screwed. And then I have to proofread my essay, and I have to make a rough draft and everything right on the spot, and that really sucks because I take forever to write a rough draft, and I take forever to proofread, and you know, it's just basically a waste of time. If they were going to give me an essay question, well, they should have just given it as assignment. Number 5, I don't know if it's just me, but some people and me blank out during tests. Like you studied so hard last night just to get that A on that like social studies test final exam or whatever, and when you get your test paper, you immediately blank out. You know you're absolutely screwed on a test when you look at the first question and you have no idea what they're talking about. And that's the moment when you secretly laugh at yourself because you know you're absolutely screwed on this test because you can't answer the very first question. And then it might take 10 minutes to recollect your thoughts and calm down and think about it, and by the time that has happened, you lost 10 minutes of your test, and you have 10 minutes less to answer the questions that people are already on page 5. And I don't know about you guys, but I almost always blank out on my social studies tests. Like, they will give you a date, and I can't remember what happened on that date, which also really sucks because in your mind, you're like, I know this stuff, but then again, I don't know this stuff, which is quite interesting. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 video. I'm TryHardChimp, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button down below. If you want to give me any constructive feedback, criticism, whatever, then you guys can just leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to give me suggestions for videos or a top 5 idea or whatever, just also bombard that comment section down below. And if you really like my stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe. We are hitting the 100 subscribers challenge. We are at 91. That is phenomenal, people. It is nowhere near June 15th, and holy god, that is a lot of subscribers. But anyways, I'm TryHardChimp. I hope to see you guys next week. By the way, all or nothing on Monday.